You are listening to Wicked Psychotherapists, a podcast where two psychotherapists show you that taking care of and learning about mental health doesn't have to be wicked hard.
Hey guys, it's Tanya.
Hi, it's Erin, and welcome to Wicked Psychotherapists.
Yeah, so we are back. We are in full Adam Sandler swing, and we're going into a movie which was, I read this was a poorly received movie back then. It actually made, I think, a lot of money at the box office, but people were like very critical of it. So we are reviewing the movie I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry.
And I try to just think when you're saying that, I know 2007 people were still really, like going to movies because they saw, okay, well, Adam Sandler's in it. And I think Kevin James, King of Queens must have been out during that time. So they both were pretty famous, and people probably had, I don't want to say high expectations, but maybe they did. Like had some, oh wow, this is going to be a really good movie. So I'm sure that's probably why it received a lot of money in the box office.
Yeah, and I think it was, kind of just looked really funny, like the two of them getting married. You just wouldn't expect that, and how that would come out in a movie, and yeah, that would be really funny.
Yeah.
I would say we had mixed feelings about it. Is that fair to say?
Yes. I think I told you, because again, when you look at something, you're like, oh, this is PG-13 or this is that, you expect it to be a certain thing. But I think PG-13 before a certain year is very different than what we see PG-13 today. And so I started watching it with my kids, and then I was like, oh no, we can't watch this. Let's watch something else. And then we ended up watching like the show Hop, because yesterday was Easter. So it's just about a bunny. It's pretty funny. But then I ended up watching it alone. I actually finished watching it this morning. And I was just like, oh my gosh, there's no way I could have watched this with the kids.
Yeah. It's definitely got some words and some themes in there that are not really kid friendly. Yeah. It was a little shocking, I think, even to us as adults, and that it was, taking into account 2007. We both remember 2007, and there was just a lot of homophobic statements and I think kind of different things that played out that were really they seemed even dated for 2007.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think people were starting in 2007. It seemed, I don't want to say people were more accepting, but it did seem like there's a lot more things happening in the world, in our nation, where, people were more accepting of, people who are gay and lesbian. And, like they mentioned in the movie that, people were starting to be able to have same-sex marriages, or, I don't know if it was, like necessarily called marriages then, but
Domestic
unions,
partnerships.
Yeah. But yeah, you didn't really hear, or you haven't really heard some of the words that they were saying. It seemed like for a very long time, like during that time, I don't think people were still saying that in 2007, like some of the terms that were being used.
Yeah, it just wasn't as, it just kind of took me aback when I was watching it. I really didn't. Especially coming from Adam Sandler, who I don't think usually plays a character like that. And so it was a little kind of, from the beginning, a little off-putting.
Yeah.
And I don't know if maybe, there's a couple things, maybe it was just to be able to show how some people are still, and even to this day, could be very ignorant.
Yeah. I'm sure there are. Because there still is a lot of discrimination for a lot of people. So there probably are people that still say things and act a certain way. But yeah, Adam Sandler's character, Chuck, it was hard for me to watch. Like I mentioned, or before we started, like the gum chewing, he always had a piece of gum in his mouth, like with his mouth open, and it's just very, I don't know, hypersexual. And it was
Yeah.
very, I don't know, it was just kind of obnoxious and gross, I thought.
Yeah. His character was, I mean, I think it was designed to be that way so he could kind of at the end, come out and learn about, oh, well, treating people with respect.
Mhm.
In this case, people who are gay or queer.
Mhm.
But yeah, and I did read on Reddit, and I don't know how true this is, but this is Reddit, take it or leave it. Somebody had said that this originally was floated as a script back in 1999, which is like 8 years before it came
Mhm.
out, with Will Smith and Nicolas Cage as the main characters, and that maybe around that time that kind of would have fit a little bit more within the times. Not to say again that it's right. Obviously, it's not. But I think there seemed to be a bit more of that, like more movies kind of like that around that time. So maybe that script kind of stayed. It didn't get changed too much when it was actually made in 2007. So I don't know if maybe that contributes also to the
Mhm.
weird timing of it. But yeah, it didn't feel super of the times. It kind of felt out of sync.
Mhm.
And they were talking about a domestic partnership, for because Larry needed to get the benefits for his kids, for his pension plan. So he needed like a
Mhm.
beneficiary. His wife had passed, but I guess he didn't change it over. So they were like, oh, well, you got to fill out all these forms. So the woman kind
Right.
of at the benefits office is like, well, if you got married, they could just kind of handle the benefits
Yeah.
for you.
Which you would think that even if a year had passed, that they would still let him fill it out.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right to me. That's weird. That's just weird. I don't know. Yeah. And
Mhm.
she didn't say he couldn't, she was just saying like, oh, it's kind of a process, which probably for most insurance things it is. I mean,
Mhm.
that's what it seems to be. But, I guess just because for the sake of the movie, they were like, oh, well, yeah, let's of course come up with the craziest option and marry my buddy. But they didn't plan for all this, people like investigators to come and check up on them, and
Yeah.
which is
Super
in
shimmy.
and of
Yeah.
itself really discriminatory. I mean, when straight people get married, it's not like they're like, oh, let's send out and make sure that they're actually married, when you could easily do that too and just kind of fake that marriage
Well,
for
I guess
benefits.
for green cards or something like that, they probably do, right? Don't they? Like, oh, we want to make sure this is legal, or
They do. Yeah, they do. I don't know if they do like surprise visits or if it's like planned visits, but yeah, I guess that is something. But I mean in general, just like a straight marriage, just like
no?
between two
Yeah.
citizens, they want to, scope that out. So it's just very much like from the beginning it seems like there's a suspicious eye on it, which
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
really discriminatory. But yeah, there's some funny moments, some things that happen between Larry and Chuck. They have pretty good chemistry as friends. They seem you buy it that they're good friends because I think they are
Mhm.
good friends in real life. So
Yeah.
we see the cast Adams gang in there, quite a few people. Can never remember that guy's name, but the guy who's Nick Swardson, I think is his name.
Yeah, he's in everything. He is
He is.
in every single movie that he's in. He's always the most aggravating character to me. I don't know why. I know that he just plays the over the top obnoxious person and everything, but I'm always like, "Ugh." And I know he's probably
That's it.
created. Yeah, he creates. He's very good at being the person that everyone is like disgusted at.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe that's something he he excels at intentionally. So they're like, all right,
Yeah,
Nick's got that role.
Nick is gross. Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever it is, he's always like very good at it.
Yeah. I mean, in this one, he was just like, he played the lawyer's Jessica Biel's brother, right?
Right.
Or
Yeah.
no, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her brother. Because it was shocking because it's like she's kind of like normal. And then here's this. She's like, oh, yeah, that's my brother. Like what was he? A butterfly or something at the party.
Yeah. Yeah. He didn't, I mean, he just kind of seemed like he was super into, the gay club scene or whatever in this
Yeah.
movie. But I mean, he ends up with the big guy, the fireman that
Yeah.
comes out as gay. I don't remember his name.
Yeah. Fred something
Yeah.
was his name.
But I mean, yeah, and there's other, I mean, of course you see his wife. His wife plays the teacher when he goes to when Larry goes to present at his, daughter's class, like bring your parent to school kind of
Mm-hmm.
day, like, and people are just like mercilessly teasing him about being gay because it's out in the papers by then, everybody knows.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, you start to see that there is, this desperation that Larry has. He wants his kids to get the benefits, and he's like, okay, I'll do anything for that. And then you see the
Mm-hmm.
hallmarks of friendship between Chuck and Larry, and
Yeah.
that basically they'll Chuck will help him out and go to the extremes, just like Larry helped him out by trying to, he saved his life basically. And I'm sure they've done this a lot over the years. They have
Mhm.
a pretty
Yeah, and
deep friendship.
it sounds like they've always been partnered together since they both became firemen. I don't know if they knew each other before, but it sounds like they've known each other for a really long time, and they've always, like, had the same shift because they even mentioned it was kinda like, "Wait a minute, we've always worked together," when they when the other guys signed the petition to have them work separately, and, yeah, there probably has been a lot of instances where they saved each other or saved the crew or, so they probably did have this really deep friendship before all of this too.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And I mean, it's really that's kind of interesting because they're both firefighters, and people that are in like frontline workers, they do develop these really deep friendships, especially with like their partner, like for police officers, like their partner that they work with, and maybe,
Mhm.
the squad that they're in, or, whatever. Sorry, I don't know terms. But
Yeah,
like
is it
firefighters, the
yeah,
teams.
yeah. Maybe it is team, right? Or I know union is team, but I don't know.
I
Yeah, I don't
really
know what
don't
it would be
know.
called.
I probably should know, but I don't. Anybody who is a frontline worker, I apologize. I am not. I'm just very ignorant
Mhm.
of that, but please correct
Yeah.
me because I know I'm wrong. But um,
Yeah,
I mean, like
house cuz yeah,
there has to be
I
like a
don't know.
tight brotherhood or like, kind of friendship, like bonding with them,
Mhm.
which is in
Yeah.
and of itself kind of an interesting aspect of that job. You have to really rely and
Mhm. Yeah.
trust
And you have
those
to
people
really
around you.
you have to like the people you're working with too, probably more so than other jobs. Like, so if you're working in an office in a cubicle, yeah, there could be people you don't like. You can put your headphones on or something and just ignore them. But when you're working in a situation like this, when you're firefighters and you're all going into a burning something, you have to really rely on your team and like them.
Yeah, your life is on the line, so you have to, it's like the stakes are a lot higher. Same with like police
Mhm.
officers and,
Yeah.
paramedics trying to work as a team to help save somebody else's life, and
Yeah.
those are tough jobs. I have a lot of respect for those jobs.
Yeah.
Could not do that. I did want to be a paramedic
Really?
slash firefighter when I was younger. That was something that I really thought of, but I just don't think I had the response time for that to, like, think on my feet all the time,
Mhm.
and I'm a tired gal, so I don't think I would have that response time, so,
Yeah.
doesn't fit me.
Yeah, it would I don't know, it'd be a really probably yeah, probably a very fast-paced job, but also, I don't know, I don't know, I think I'd be a little bit of a baby for some of the really scary stuff that they see. I don't know if I think I think I would just freeze. Like, if like, "Oh,
Yeah.
wait, there's this really big trauma.
Yeah, it's
Wait,
very
I'm in charge."
traumatizing. Like, first responders are a whole set for us as, like, therapists that people have specialties in trading because
Mhm.
they see trauma every day. Like, I mean, they,
Yeah.
have to live with it day in and day out. The
Mhm.
things they see, the
Yeah.
things they have to work within, deal with, and
Yeah.
that's tough. Really, really tough. But yeah, it's definitely, I think, that part of the story I actually really appreciated in the movie because it was like you can see that you really do need to have that type
Yeah.
of bond and, have each other's backs in that way.
Yeah.
Um
I think they're called stations. Like the fire station. Is it called fire station? Like where
yeah,
they
I mean like how they would like
Yeah,
the
but
different
wouldn't it be like
stations and
yeah, I think that's what they're like, I don't know. I was just trying to think like what because I keep thinking like because now I'm like squadron team. What is what are they called? I don't know. I don't know. The house. We'll figure it
maybe
out.
it
It'll come
depends.
to
I
it.
don't know. I don't know. Somebody's got to straighten us out. We really should know this, but we don't. Well, maybe not because we don't work. It's not like I don't have a specialty.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like I would like to work with first responders, but I don't. I don't normally. But I mean, I think
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for them for sure.
Yeah. I've thought of taking that training sometimes because they have it every once in a while, like where you can do the, like even like go to a fire station and do, like and learn. And then it goes and it's like, then you learn how to work just with first responders, which I think that would be interesting. But I think it would be very difficult to have that as your specialty as far as because then as a therapist, it's hard. It's like trauma all the time that you're hearing and seeing.
Yeah, it's a high acuity trauma like caseload and working with people, and so I can't even imagine living it day in and day out as your job and being in it. Like that's why
Right.
it's a lot. But yeah, yeah. So I mean, they definitely have like you can see that type of friendship. Like I appreciate that aspect of the movie and that they were helping each other out in that way, but
Hmm.
just some of the stereotypes and that they were just really kind of lame and really like okay how they would see how two gay men live or are partners together
Yeah.
was
Well,
just insulting and
and even um I forget the people's names. I was gonna say Kevin James. Even Larry's kids, they were just so stereotypical. Like one is more little girl is like a little more rough and like tomboyish for lack of a better word. And then the boy is very effeminate.
yeah
And they're like, oh, he's gay but he could have been, he could have not been. He could have just really loved musical theater and dancing. And it was kind of like, okay, Steve Buscemi is looking into their trash, and it's like, your trash isn't gay enough.
yeah like what does that even mean like it's ridiculous yeah but Steve
Yeah, it's like,
Buscemi
and then you think,
was funny yeah
yeah. But then you think too, like, what would, like if people were going through your own trash, I'm like, oh my gosh, my trash would probably be like, oh my gosh, you have so many animals. There's just so much animal stuff. Like, that's what my trash would look like. It'd be like, okay, you need to
I
recycle your
don't even
dog food
know
cans more.
I don't know what the heck mine would be like I don't know like just a bunch of wrappers from food I don't that's all I
Yeah,
could
yeah.
say
Like I'm looking at the trash right now. Mine is just like at my desk. It's just like random papers that I crumble up and put in there. But
Yeah. They might be like,
it's
"This girl
just
needs to eat better, first off, number 1." She
oh wait,
also,
there's a
like, I don't know, her allergies are raging because she's using, like, a box of
tissues.
tissues every day.
Oh yeah, they've been really. It's funny. I was talking about it's like really bad. Like the spring season. It's like okay, Zyrtec is making
Yeah.
bank.
It must be, yeah. It's been really bad, yeah, so it's bad there in Florida too. It's, like, just
Yeah,
the
it's been really
pollens,
bad
yeah.
for. It's horrible. But yeah,
Yeah.
but it is funny. It's like very strange because if you're just looking like let's just say people did look in other people's trash. It's like you're only getting one part of the story. You're not getting every like you don't really know. It's like, oh wait a minute. There's some candy wrappers or there's food wrappers or there's dog food contain things or cat litter or I don't know what else people throw away that don't have a
Yeah.
thousand animals.
It's just such a discriminatory practice, obviously, and I don't know if that was
Yeah.
just for comedy or I was when we were talking before our pre-gaming session, I was saying I do think when the domestic partnerships started out, maybe there was some sort of checkup there, but which is obviously discriminatory, but I
Yeah.
don't know that it went to that extent, or maybe it did. I don't know if anybody knows anything about that, but that's kind of something I just thought of. So I would like
hmm
to research that more, but
Yeah.
that's just horribly discriminatory to be like, oh, we're
hmm
gonna check up on your marriage to see, or your partnership to see if this is an actual partnership.
Yeah, because then you look, I mean, how many marriages probably don't look stereotypical, because it's like, especially after so many years, you are best friends. And
Yeah, and sometimes people
hopefully,
don't even sleep in the same rooms, like, and that could look like, oh, are you partners? But like, actually, it's a very common practice with like
yeah.
long term
Yeah,
marriages.
I know my parents were married for 35 years before my mom passed, and my dad my dad snored a lot. So my dad slept in what used to be my brother's room, and he just made that his whole room. He decorated it. But it did, like, which I'm like, that's kind of nice. You have your own space,
Yeah, yeah.
but
It's just not
but
like you don't need to bother anymore. It's
yeah. Yeah,
okay.
you're not going to get punched all the time because it's like, "Oh my god, you're snoring."
Yeah, it's actually, that practice is actually like sleeping separately and at least in separate beds, at least, but also in separate rooms is actually that's the way it traditionally always was, apparently,
Yeah.
like in the Western
Oh,
culture. But I don't know when it actually is a fairly new practice in like relatively like, probably like the
right.
don't quote me on this, but like maybe the 1800s, like mid 1800s when people started kind of living together as a married couple. Like it's
Huh.
it's actually pretty common because I think people kind of, like because of like Christian values and stuff like that, like you only, you know, like procreation is the only appropriate time to kind of be together kind of thing. But now we look at it as like being separate is like, oh, that's weird, like that
Yeah.
may be like kind of the first reaction.
But then it's also interesting because now it's like almost like people are going back to that because you hear people say like, "Oh, I have like the she shed, the man cave, creating the spare bedroom to be this or that." So it seems like people are almost craving to have a space to have like their individuality, whether it's like, "Oh, well, yeah, I created the shed outside, or I have this outdoor living area, or I put a TV in the spare bedroom." Whatever it is, people are trying to create something. And it might even be going back to like when you were a kid and it's like, "Oh wait, I have my little space in my room." I think both of us did not have our own rooms. I had to share it with my sister until I was like, I don't know, like 15, and then I had my own room for a couple years.
No.
So then that could be it too. Like a lot of people are just really excited about, being able to go back to that. Like, "Oh, wait a minute, there was something special about having my own room as a kid." And so maybe that's also why some couples do that, might have that separateness.
I tend to be of the, and I tell my clients this sometimes because I think sometimes people feel like if you're married, you should be spending all your time with your partner. But I think it's very healthy to have your own individual needs and to have space for that. Like, that's okay. I think some people are
Mhm.
kind of maybe either raised with, or maybe we just as a society have this feeling of like you need to be together at all times, but I personally have never really looked at it as that. Like, I know my husband and I, we very much are like, we have things we come together on, and then there's things that we're like, well, I kind of like doing this on my own, and you kind of like
Yeah.
doing that on your own, and we're like, okay with that, like it just kind of,
Mhm.
I don't know, it just kind of works, and I don't think it's such a weird thing. I don't know, and I often
Mhm.
tell clients that, like that it's not unhealthy to want some time to yourself. Like you don't if you're just because you're married, it doesn't mean you're like stuck with that person like
Yeah.
24/7. Um but if there's separation to the point where like you're not talking or interacting really ever, that's a different story.
Right.
But yeah, so I think that yeah, having separate space is can be really healthy. I don't even
Mhm.
remember how we got on this. Oh yeah, because we were talking about like what is normal for like what is like
Well, yeah, and Steve Buscemi checking in the garbage and seeing what if they are a real married couple, and
yeah.
having people investigate and see, and it's just, I don't know. It's He's the perfect creeper though. He makes
He is.
he
Perfect. Yeah. He really is. He's one of our favorites. I think we're gonna probably lead off with him, like, when we kinda do the 6 degrees of, like,
Yeah,
he's
he'll
gotta
be our
be
first
someone.
person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because we
I mean,
love him.
because I know you guys hear it. It's like, okay, is it the Steve Buscemi show? But he's just so great. Like anything he's in, it's just like, oh my gosh, this guy.
He is. He's
He's
hilarious. He just, like, he leans into, like, how he comes off, and it's just great. It's just great that he can do that.
any character he is, like he just really knows how to play it.
Yeah. Yeah, he plays it up, like, even if he comes off looking, like, terribly, he's just like, "Whatever."
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah, and, back to the movie, I know we could go on and on about Steve Buscemi, which we will
Right.
continue to,
Yeah.
but, that is our right, but,
Yeah.
I think that, this is a story about, yeah, like, really deep friendships, and, of course, I think being a
Mhm.
firefighter, that's a perfect profession to have that deep bond, and also Larry's grieving of his wife and, the
Mhm.
things he has to do just to be able to keep his pension, is it's kind of shining a light on that as well too. I think that, like, things, insurance
Yeah.
companies, or I don't know, pensioners, whatever the heck they are, whoever holds the pension
Yeah.
benefit place is just kind of, set up with these, to kind of sometimes make people fail, despite that
Mhm.
this is something they've
Yeah.
earned, this is something they're promised.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it's because in a sense, the whoever's the pensioners or whatever they are in a sense going to lose money when they have to pay out. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I
They don't
really
want that.
liked. Yeah, of course. I really liked how the captain knew, and he's like, "Come on, you guys, I know this isn't real, but I'm not gonna say anything." It's like he knew there was some reason that they were doing this.
Yeah. Which is kind of disappointing that he wouldn't say, like, "Hey, is there another way I can help you?" As opposed to, like, "Let's just, like, I don't
Yeah,
wanna get into this," and then he goes and, like,
yeah,
blabs it at the hearing,
yeah.
but,
Yeah, that
yeah.
is true. It's like, why yeah, it's like, yeah, why didn't he go back a little bit and be like, "Okay, so you've done this. I know you did this, but what is the real reason you're doing it, and what can I help?" And obviously, the system has failed you, or it's flawed that you have to get fake married.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and that is a really sad part, and then that leads to, people who at that at that time and before, that New York had recognized domestic partnerships, I think around that time. I think they had,
Mhm.
and that included benefits, but a lot of places had not even recognized that. So people who had been together for years and years couldn't A, get married, or B, be recognized for benefits. And so it
Yeah.
really is, really just, I think, completely awful that, people had to, who are in same sex marriages or, queer marriages or partnerships, they couldn't even be recognized as marriages.
Mhm.
That was something that was actually, when I was in high school, I had said this, but that was something I was very, very passionate about. I felt like that was
Yeah.
not okay. I went to, like, the
Yeah.
marches, and
Mhm.
felt like,
Yeah.
I was in, what they called an ally, kind of that term, which is basically, it just kind of feels like it's everyone now, you know what I mean? But I mean, there still certainly is a lot of discrimination, but I
Mhm.
think by law, it's come a long way, but there's still a lot, that maybe is, I don't know if people are trying to reverse it under what's going on now, because there's a lot of stuff going on now, but
Mhm.
it's, yeah, definitely a very tough thing to have to go through, that, people who don't have to even think twice about this, maybe wouldn't realize how much of a privilege it is, to just be able to
Yeah.
get married and show that you're in a partnership
Mhm.
with somebody publicly. And because it
Yeah.
used to be, I mean, what was it, back in the 50s, I think, 1950s, it was illegal. It was illegal
Mhm.
to be seen, and you could be arrested. You could very well be, like, harassed and beaten by officials, and if you're
Mhm.
caught out in gay clubs, or what they
Yeah.
assumed were gay clubs.
Yeah.
Um, it does kind of, shine a light towards the end as to like, hey, this is what's going on with the protests at the gay club that they went
Courthouse.
to.
Yeah.
They were Chuck goes and like knocks out the guy, and you kind of see that, hey, there really is a lot of hatred. And I mean, there was and there still is for that.
Mhm.
And people just have to, people can, like, I think now there's more of a voice, but it just was, for a long time it was just kind of
Mhm.
people fighting for that.
Yeah.
But that
Well,
that definitely is something.
and also the usage going back to the beginning, like the usage of the different words. And I think that just also really made people feel like, okay, it's easy to just make fun of people, like you know, by saying, you know, fag or something, like it's just, like it's, I don't know, dehumanizes people too.
Yeah, it definitely, and Chuck was using that a lot, and he towards the end is like, don't say that's a bad word, you shouldn't say that. And there's kind of this turnaround we've talked about with Adam's character where he kind of
Hmm.
comes full circle, and he does in this.
Learn.
I don't really see a great revolution in that, maybe a little bit, just
No, I think
I
his
don't.
growth, because I was trying to, because we always talk about like his arc. And I think little bit was like he was learning how to be a friend to a female because he's never really had female friends. And then to possibly become a good boyfriend and not be a womanizer. And then also to not make fun of gay people and to defend them, also befriend them.
Yeah, and we don't, I mean, we see that he kind of, sort of faces it, but kind of the discrimination, but I don't really see that he, I don't know, really feels deeply affected by it, but somehow his character kind of magically does, and is like does a
Hmm.
complete 180,
Yeah.
which is kind of one of the flaws I think in this movie, amongst some other
Hmm.
things. That I didn't really like, and it doesn't sound like we didn't really like too much. It kind of didn't really show that, but
Yeah.
um yeah, so it's interesting, because there's definitely some Adam elements, but he's in a kind of a different character, and but still has a similar arc, but maybe not in the way he normally would. Um,
Hmm.
there are some funny parts, but there are some really off-putting parts too.
Hmm.
Which again, maybe that was kind of designed to be off-putting. I don't know, but seeing as how this is a
Yeah.
comedy movie, I don't think so. Um, so
And I
yeah,
think it was they, again, 2007. Maybe they made it in 2003. Who knows when? Like it's. But I don't know. It's, and again, they could be like, okay, well, everyone likes our stupid slaps type of humor. We'll just really amp it up. And I don't know. I did like, oh my gosh, what is his name? The blonde guy. Um,
David Spade.
David Spade. I did like his character. He is very funny. I
It
always
was
like
funny
David
how
Spade.
he was like calling him a tease. He's like, "Oh, who are you?" Like just walking away. Like it's like, oh, calls him a name. I don't want to say it, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah, really, really funny.
It's
But
funny. Wasn't he dressed almost the same way with the blonde wig in another Adam Sandler movie? Like David Spade was like the ex-girlfriend, like he portrayed as.
that did look familiar. Yeah, maybe he
Yeah.
was. I'm sure. Yeah, there's a lot of like repeating patterns that, as you know, we talk about when we see in
Yeah.
like in this, the cast of characters, probably David Spade being dressed up probably similarly.
Yeah.
The witness at their wedding with Rob Schneider as the officiant. The witness peed his pants. He was like this kind of I don't know, random homeless guy or unhoused guy.
Yeah, and I think he was in Waterboy for sure, and I've seen him in other stuff.
Yeah.
And oh yeah,
So
and the
he's
pee in the
kind of
pants. Like yeah, Adam loves people pee in their pants.
yeah. There's just those kind of repeat elements in there, which
Yeah.
is pretty funny because I don't think it was his production team or his production
Mhm.
company, but I guess he was able to kind of put that in there.
Yeah. I don't know, because it was, like, the Happy Madison at the beginning, like, how
Oh, it
that starts
was?
it with the yeah.
I didn't see, I saw something like something acres or something. I
Uh,
don't know, maybe it was I rented it through Prime, so I don't know, maybe there was something.
yeah, I did too, but I don't know. I thought I saw the Happy Madison thing. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I was just so used to it.
But it definitely had those elements, which, of course
Mhm.
we like those things, but overall it was I mean, this movie was not super well received, and we can kind of
Yeah.
see why. Is just
Mhm.
too many, like, homophobic,
Yeah.
stereotypes that were in there that kind of didn't
Yeah.
come off as like, "Oh, we're trying to kind of make this ironic." Instead, it kind of felt a little too, like, just insulting,
Mhm. Yeah.
disrespectful, yeah, but and the redemption at the end was like, it just didn't feel all that organic.
Yeah. I wish there would have been, like, I know it's a comedy, but I wish there would have been a little bit more on Larry's, like, past relationship with his wife, because they just are like, "Okay, this was her. She died." Like, and how long had he been a single father? How long ago was it that she died? I know it was at least a year, but
Yeah.
but then so there was, like, that little bit of grief that we're talking about, because, like, he was kinda stuck. He wouldn't open any mail, he wouldn't clean out her closet, and then at the very end, at the wedding, the wedding of the 2 the 2 other guys, he, like, is talking to a woman at a table, so he's able to think about somebody, so something happened to him too that he's now able to, I don't wanna say go past the grief, but he's able to think about someone besides his wife who passed.
Yeah, like, maybe it was just kind of going through this kind of partnership even though it wasn't an actual partnership, it was, kind of a faux partnership with Chuck, and kind of realizing the elements of having someone live with him again. And, Chuck was kind of a jerk and was like pretending to be his wife and like was making that voice and was like, "Don't sit on me," kind of thing, like, and
Yeah.
was kind of being disrespectful. So maybe he kind of had to kind of face these things and kind of be like, okay, he's kind of,
Mhm.
just here
Yeah.
and bringing this up. So,
Mhm.
but also just, kind of thinking about the prospect of being with someone else, like, even though it wasn't real, but still maybe that kind of
Yeah.
helped him to process it. Um, yeah. And just having, a friend that was helping him out and being there for him, maybe that helped out too. But yeah, overall, I don't know, like
So
we
if you
said,
had
mixed
yeah,
feelings.
if I yeah, I was gonna say, if we were giving it a grade, what would you give it?
Yeah, maybe a C minus.
Yeah, I was thinking a solid D at first, but I don't know, maybe because there were some parts that I did like. I liked the court scene. I liked, like, when they were being interviewed separately, and so you see that they're pretty much answering the questions together. So their friendship, their best friend, like, they really know each other. I liked that part. And there were some other parts that the kids were cute, and I don't know. I think maybe as I might be able to do C minus, but maybe like a closer to a D. Very, very C minus.
C minus slash D. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's yeah. I'd give it a solid C minus, I think. I think that's kind of
Okay.
where I'm thinking because I mean there were some things that worked, but and I think I'm probably just grading a little bit higher because it's just Adam Sandler, but
Yeah.
there were a lot of things that didn't really work. And
Yeah.
yeah.
It's funny, I actually like Kevin James better in this, and I'm not usually a
Yeah.
Kevin James fan.
He wasn't bad. He wasn't bad. Yeah,
No,
same. I
actually
wasn't annoyed by him.
yeah, I preferred him in this one more
Yeah.
so than Adam.
Yeah, he was kind of a grounding force, I think, in this, so
Yeah.
it was a little bit better than his usual roles.
Yeah, you can't have 2 of them like that, otherwise, then you have Dumb and Dumber. Like, it's just
Yeah.
like, it's then
Yeah.
you have that stupid movie. It's not, so you need someone to balance it out a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's true. But yeah, so those are our thoughts on that movie. I mean, definitely some themes, definitely some different elements that we see that are Adam style patterns, but
And it does talk about grief. I mean, there is the grief, there is friendship, there is homophobia. So there are different
Mhm.
things that are talked about, and being a single parent and navigating that. So there are different components that are psychological and could have you go to therapy for.
For sure, yeah. Yeah. I just think the movie itself was not the greatest, but
No, 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 not at all.
yeah. So let us know what you think if you saw it or if you have any desire to see it. Maybe you don't after this review if you haven't already, but
Right.
yeah. And I do have a challenge question that's sort
Okay.
of related to this,
Okay,
but it's
good.
not
I actually
super.
I actually was worried. I was like, "Oh no, did Tanya forget?" Okay, good.
No, I did no, I was thinking of this. It's more of kind of like a fun one because I don't really know what else we could do with this one. But if you were thinking of the costume party or whatever that they go to,
Okay.
if you were to go to a costume party, which was very much themed in a very lighthearted way, it was kind of in the vein of like you know early to mid 2000s gay club fashion, if you were to pick a costume to be able to attend like an event like that, what would you choose?
Okay, I would probably I did like the apple because then you're kinda protected, but I would probably want something very over the top with lots of glitter and, like, maybe a big headpiece. I don't know if I'd want big wings because then they'd get in your way, but I'd probably want something very drapey, jeweled, makes noise when you walk, kind of almost like chainmail type of thing and just super sparkly over the top.
Yeah, I think that's like the perfect time to kind of have something really over the top and fun. And but yeah, also you don't want to be like, I don't know, some people do want obstructions to kind of like clear a path. Maybe that's their thing, but
Yeah.
I understand like kind of being like I don't want to like be bumping into people all day. Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, I think I would be pretty similar. I think I would probably choose like if I were to choose something like maybe like a unicorn or something like very rainbowy, but, like, kind of unique, but you could kind of, you know, be identified or something. I don't know, a
Yeah.
unicorn comes to mind for some reason, but I just think you could get a lot of, like, rainbow sparkliness kind of out of that and
Yeah.
just kinda have
And it
fun
could
with
be
that.
fun. You could either have the whole unicorn be a two-person outfit or one person where you're just like this unicorn person.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that would be kinda fun and just the
Mhm.
bright colors and everything like that, I think would be really cool, but Um, so let us know what you think. We certainly our opinions are not the end all be all. This is just our opinions on a movie, and we just talk about it Adam Sandler wise, as well as a little bit of a psychological slant. But
Right.
let us know if you have any ideas for future shows or just any comments, anything. We love to hear from
Mhm.
you.
And we do
Mm,
read them. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Our next one after this is, I think it's The Cobbler. That
the
will be
cobbler. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the cobbler in a couple weeks.
I think Paul recommended that one too, he in one of our fan mails.
Very nice. Paul is very great at recommending a lot of good things for us, so we appreciate that. Thank you, Paul. But yeah, don't forget to follow us on socials. We're on everything, including YouTube, at Wicked Psychotherapists on Instagram, the Wicked Psychotherapist Facebook, and just Google Wicked Psychotherapist for
Yeah,
YouTube. You'll be able to
you'll
catch
find
us.
us. You'll find
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. So let's give him the outro. And
Okay.
don't forget, stay wicked.
And keep your mind well. All right, have a great day.
Bye guys.
Bye.